Alright guys, it's your boy Texas Shadow coming at you with a brand new video. I've been out of it for a while. I haven't done much with dragons, and that's really what my channel is about. And with everyone talking about the new dragons, I decided to go ahead and finally get this deck together. And I know people want to see a profile really badly, so I figured, hey, why not give the people what they want? So I'm here to do a deck profile on Suppressor Disaster. So if you guys haven't heard yet, or if you guys are out of the loop, there's these brand new dragons coming out. Okay, they're known as the Suppressor dragons, or elemental dragons, what they were called. And these are what's going to give Disaster what it needs in order to compete again competitively. And they're all really good dragons, and I mean this is what's going to make the deck take off. So I'm going to go to the deck profile, and I'll explain the cards when we get to them. So yeah, so our first card is going to be Flamevale Guard. The reason why Flamevale Guard is going to be used in this deck is because he's a 1-star tuner and he has 2000 defense. On top of that, all the suppressors are all level 7. So being able to bring this guy out and with the level 7 just synchro into any level 8 is a really good combo. Then we have one Red Eyes, of course, the boss of the deck. We have one Blaster, and what Blaster's ability is, they all have similar special summoning conditions. You banish 2 dragons or match or attributes of the same type as the other dragon, and you special summon them. They bounce back to your hand during your opponent's end phase, and then if they're banished by any way, you add a dragon type monster from your deck to your hand with the same attribute as that dragon. Now all their effects are different when they're discarded from hand. So with Blaster, if you discard him and a fire type monster, you can target one card on the field and destroy that target. So he's a good one-up in this deck because the only fire targets we have are going to be the Flamevale Guard and the 3 Mass Dragons. Ideally, you want to pitch the Flamevale Guard, but I mean the Mass Dragons are also really great, especially when you draw into multiples. So I like him as a one-of. Oh yeah, so our next card is going to be, I believe we say his name is Redox or Red. I don't know. His ability is you pitch him and another Earth monster, and you special summon one. You special summon one monster from your graveyard. So I mean, our Earth targets in this deck are going to be Explorer Dragon and the Golem Dragon, which I'll get into in a little bit. But yeah, so we have 3 targets for him, and like I said, when he's banished, you're able to add an Earth monster, so we're able to search out things like Exploder and Golem. So it's a really good one-up as well. I don't know, I've tried to, but I like him as a one-up. Now the best Suppressor Dragon that's going to make this deck really good is going to be Tempest. Tempest is the Wind Dragon. When you pitch him along with another Wind monster, you're able to add a Dragon type monster from your deck to your hand. So you can make shenanigan plays like, okay, I'm going to pinch Tempest and Wyvern, and I'll go ahead and add Red Eyes to hand. So my graveyard's already filled, and I have my boss monster in my hand, which was a problem for us since Red Eyes went to 1. Now we're able to grab him easily. So Tempest easily being a decent monster, and his attack is 24 and defense is 22, so he's a decent beat stick. I actually fixed Red's effects. I posted on the forum that his attack was wrong, but they actually fixed it now. But his attack is 16, his defense is 3000, so he's a really good wall. And the biggest one is Blaster. He's 28-18, so I mean, they're really good. These are the ones I run. There's one more dragon, and I believe his name's Tido or Tide. He's the water one. When he's pitched with a water monster, you send a monster from your deck to the graveyard. Which, in Disaster, unless you're running, the Frozen Ray variant, or you're running Blizzard Dragons in your build, then yes, it's a good card because you're able to mill the Wyverns or mill the Red Eyes. But other than that, he's not really needed for this deck. And then, of course, we have Triple Quack Chimera Drago. The reason we're going to run 3 again is because when these cards come out in the next set, Cosmo Blazer just came out. When the next set comes out is when these dragons will come out. The cards that are going to be legal then are going to be the Evil Swarms and Constellars, being light and dark. They're going to be really popular because people are going to want to try them out. And I know that the Evil Swarm Rabbits or Verz Rabbits, I believe that's what they're called. They're based like on a Chaos Engine. So this guy is he's gonna get the play he deserves once again. He's gonna be one of our star monsters in this deck. Red Eyes Wyvern. I chose to run 2 just to make more room. I've seen Richard Clark. He runs 3, and I believe Blue Star runs 3 as well. I prefer 2 just because he's a good monster, but I like having spells and traps to back them up. And so I think he's at 2, he's alright. Debris Dragon. I'm actually really excited that this guy came ulti in the new Astro Pack. I already have one. I need to pick up one more, and then I'll have my set. But yeah, this guy is going to be on top because we need more win targets for Tempest, because Tempest is going to be our main engine in order to add whatever dragon we need at the time to our hand. And on top of that, Debris, his target's going to be Golem Dragon and Flame Veilguard. And so, ideally, what you want to do is you want to go Debris Dragon into a Golem, and then you're going to overlay for Queen Dragon, and you can detach and bring back these Suppressor Dragons. And because their effects are negated, they won't bounce back to your hand during your opponent's end phase, which is really good because now they're just beat sticks. And so, and they're level summons as well. And I've also seen plays where you go Debris Dragon, special summon Guard, then you'll special summon one of the level 7s, synchro into a level 8, like a Scrap Dragon. You can pop to Debris and pop a card on their field. Or you can even go, let me see, what was the other play? Or yeah, when you go Debris Dragon, special summon a monster, then special Tempest, then you synchro into an 8, you can remove the Debris for red ice and then continue to go off and bring back, you know, one of the Suppressor Dragons. It's just, in this deck, it's going to be a really good card. I'd actually be really happy if this card went to 3 with the new ban list, but, you know, we can always hope. Like I said, 2 Golem Dragons. The reason I'm running 2, because I really don't like it at 2, but I tried playing with just the 1, and I didn't have enough targets for Suppressor, or ended up removing them for their special summoning costs. So running 2 of these guys isn't bad. I mean, opening up with them is not, it's okay. I like being able to set a 2000 wall, not having to set Debris, but I can just set Golem. So I mean, I like him. I don't mind him at 2, so I'll keep him there. Delta Flyer only run 1 because with this deck we're able to search out these monsters very easily. So Delta Flyer is just, he's a great one-up in this card. He's always been our best tuner. So yeah. 3 Mass Dragons, because you know they're really good fodder. If you start off with the Mass Dragon, you just set it. By the time they attack into it, you've already gone through 2, so your graveyard's already set up. You can start removing especially some of your Suppressor Dragons, and they combo really well too with Gold Sark, which I'll go into right now. Sorry, I'm a little under the weather right now, so bear with me. 1 Explorer Dragon, because he's our answer to, you know, problem monsters, big monsters, BLS, Logia, stuff like that. Heavy Storm, Dark Hole, Triple Sark. We are going to max out on Triple Sark in this deck. The reason being is because these guys, their last effect, whenever they're banished, you add a dragon type monster with that same effect. So like I was saying before, let's say you open up with just, you know, a bunch of spells and traps, and you don't have anything you can really, you know, set. You draw into a Sarko. You can go Sarko for Blaster. Blaster's effect will activate. You'll be able to have Mass Dragon in hand, and you can already go ahead and set Mass Dragon and go off. Or you can even go Banish for Tempest, search out Drago if you know you're playing something that's light and dark. Or you can even just, you know, if they went first turn Logia, you can go ahead and banish Redix and search out Explorer Dragon. So I mean, there's a lot of different ways. This eventually becomes a +1 because this card replaces itself. When you banish one of the suppressors, it automatically replaces itself with a new monster, and then 2 turns later you get the suppressor to your hand to make more plays. So I mean, Gold Sark in this deck becomes really good. 1 Reborn, triple MST. I maxed out on the spaces because I've always hated back row against this deck, and you know, I want to make my plays as live as possible. 1 Book of Moon, double lands. It's something that I've always ran, and I feel like this deck needs it. I run Macro Rabbit now, and this card is one of the best cards in that deck. So I figured, why not keep it in this deck as well, and just, you know, it's just an all around good card, because you don't want, you know, red eyes and stuff like that getting banished. As for the trap lineup, this is always subject to change because depending on how I feel about it. Because the monster lineup is pretty much set. I think this is pretty much how I like it. This is the only thing that's going to be changing the spell and trap lineup. But yeah, 2 bottomless, double torrential, and then the Solemn Brigade. So I mean, it's pretty staple. The other really good card in here, which Richard was trying out, it's called Treasure Sword of the 7 Stars, and it's the card that comes on the same set as the dragons. What it does is you banish a level 7 monster from your hand or the side of the field, draw 2 cards, and you can only activate 1 of these cards per turn. So these combos really well with the dragons because you banish one of the suppressor dragons, draw 2, and then their effect will activate when they're banished to add a dragon from your deck to your hand. Same thing goes with, I can see this being used in other decks as well, such as Machinas, or, I mean, I was thinking about putting Mind Control in here because being able to go, okay, I'll Mind Control your Gores, activate Treasure Sword, remove it, draw 2 cards. Just stuff like that. But I was trying to test it last night because I updated it earlier than it was supposed to, and it wasn't working too well. So I might throw 2 back in and test it out again. When I tested it, I ran 2. I think running 3 is too many, unless you're running more suppressors. But I only run 5 suppressors, so I think 2 is a good amount. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. But that's just another option in this deck. As for the extra deck, Trident Drakeon. I actually, if you go watch Blue Star's latest video, he made the cutest play with this card because he ended up going Suppressor and he had a Delta on the board, and the 7 plus the 3 is a 10. He went Trident, popped 2 cards, and beat a Dragoonity player for game, which was really funny because this is like Dragoonity's card, so it made me laugh. But yeah, Drakeon he's always been a really good card, and for this deck, it's just if you have the play, it's an easy win. 1 Scrap Dragon, 1 Stardust, and 1 Black Rose. I'm still testing this deck, so I don't know if I'm missing synchros or not. So like, the more I tested, the more I figured, oh, I need to put in a 6, or I need to put in, you know, other monsters. The only reason I don't have a 6 in here is because I don't have any 2-star targets for Debris, and you know, I don't see it. More than likely, I'm gonna overlay with Debris Dragon. So these are like the staple, you know, synchros I thought of to go with. All right, so we'll go to the XCs now. Gaia Dragon, like I said, the Suppressor level 7, you can actually just overlay into this guy. If you're pushing for game and just want to pierce, you have the win with that. Big Eye, with level 7s being so easy to special summon in our deck, giving us access to Big Eye is probably one of the greatest cards we can use right now, especially with just its effect is so good. Just I'm just gonna take your monster. Big Eye's already a 26 beat stick, and normally I'm taking a really big monster or a power monster from you, so it's just a really good card overall. Queen Dragon, she's gonna be like I said, a really stable card in this deck because of Debris Dragon's ability, bringing back the suppressors or bringing back, you know, Red Eyes and just stuff like that. It's a really good card. Not too sure when this card is coming out, but it's called a Huge Rock Palm, Giant Hand, and he's kind of like I want to say he's like a watered down version of Dolka, but he takes 2 level 4 monsters, and during either player's turn when a monster's effect is activated on your opponent's side of the field, you detach 2 XYZ materials, you target that face-up monster, and while the Huge Rock Palm is face-up on the field, its effect is negated and it can't change battle position. So I actually made this against I was playing against a Thunderstun deck, and it stopped him from going off for a turn, and I liked it because he's an Earth, so I was able to make him with Drago, or like I said, Debris Dragon into Golem and make him, because I had no other monsters in Grave, so he was just a good option to go with. Here is probably one of the best XCs we've gotten out of this new set that we can actually use. This card right now is actually pretty expensive. It's going for like maybe $30 to $40, maybe a little bit more. It's called Lightning Plover, but they've changed the name here. I believe it starts with a C. It's like Clover, or I'm not sure. You have to look up the new what it's called here. But Lightning Plover is a really good card. It takes 2 level 4 wins. When it's XYZ summon, you target a set card. Yeah, you target 1 set card your opponent controls, and you return it to the bottom of the deck. So automatically, when you summon, you're already bouncing something. Okay. Now, once per turn, you can detach a material. You target a face-up card your opponent controls and return it to the top of the deck. So on top of him being summoned, and you can already return a set card, you can, on top of that, you detach and put a face-up card back. So it's another way to get rid of problem monsters and just stall your opponent out because you already know what they're going to draw next if this effect goes off. So it's all around a really good card. If you can find one of these really cheap for under like 20 bucks, I'd say pick it up. At least maybe 2. But this is a really good card. So if you ever pull in a pack, you know, hang on to it. Oh, excuse me. 1 Maestro. Like I said, it's kind of hard for me to go into light and dark level 4s because, you know, Drago mostly being on the field, but it's a really good card, so I like it in this. I like it in the extra deck. Lavalval Chain. It's also another really good card, especially like let's say, like I said, you start off with Golem Dragon, you set him, you draw into a Wyvern. Okay? They'll attack into your Golem Dragon, they'll take damage, whatever. So you draw your Wyvern, you summon Wyvern. Overlay, you make Lavalval Chain. You'll detach Wyvern, activate its effect to send a monster from your deck to the graveyard. Or I'm sorry, it's to send a card from deck to the graveyard. But ideally, you're gonna send Red Eyes or other Dragon type monsters. Your play's already set up. And if they don't get rid of Lavalval Chain, you can just continue to dump Wyverns or any other monsters you need in there. So it's going to be a really good card. And Hidden Arsenal comes out, I believe, in April. So at least pick up one of these. Daigusto, he's also another really good card. He's a mini pot of average. You're able to put back, you know, some of your dragon cards and just draw a free card off of them. As for the rank 3s, I'm still not sure about these. 'Cause I was looking at it, and I really don't have too many ways to go into threes, like, cause more than likely I'm going in for the fours or for a synchro. So I just put in the staple threes I could think of. You know, one Levier, one Leviathan. I'm sorry, one Leviathan, one Levier, and the Zen main. So that's all I can really think of. Like I said, I'm still testing, so if it comes up that I need something, I'll switch stuff out. As for the sideboard, I just made this really quick just because I wanted to test it, and if I ran into windups or something, just triple maxi, double Veiler. I don't run a lot of traps, so Decree, Light Imprisoning, Shadow Imprisoning, and of course Rivalry. It's always been one of our best friends in the deck. So yeah, guys. I mean, this is the deck profile. If you guys have any questions, you want me to go into more detail, feel free to ask. Actually, when I actually loaded up my my Dev Pro right now, it actually just updated. So, like I said, his stats were Riddick's stats were fixed because I updated it myself early in the morning along with Blue Star. So, I mean, they weren't up to par with their effects and everything. Like Tempest effect, because all their effects when you banish and special summon them, they're all monster effects. And when we first got them, they were treated as inherent summons, so their effects weren't being, they were treated as inherent summons, which is not the way it's supposed to be. So I mean, now with the new update finally out, when I loaded it up, everybody should have it now. So yeah, I mean, feel free to use this as a skeleton. I mean, I like this build so far. I'm gonna continue to test it, and if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. So yeah, guys, this is your boy Texas Shadow. I'll catch you later.